All right, I think our audio's all set up. We just need the cold open.
You want to do cold open?
Dude, I rely on you guys for the cold opens.
The cold open again?
Just
Cold. I don't know what a cold open. How do you define?
We
a
just
cold
talk.
open?
We just talk about random shit until we get into.
all right.
Yeah.
Start the pod. Start the pod.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Lakers Therapy. It's Saturday, May 20th. My name is Paul, and with me is David,
What's up?
Rahi,
Hello, everybody.
and Roddy.
Not to be confused with Roddy. Hi, everybody.
All right, if you're
What was
listening, if you're listening to this pod, please like and subscribe to our Lakers Therapy channel. Today we're going to talk about a little bit about Game 1, but mostly we're going to focus on Game 2 and that disappointing loss. And we're also going to do a little bit of a Game 4 preview for today's game that's happening in a few hours. I think we got to talk about that Game 2 a little bit. Denver wins 108-103. Pretty disappointing, to be honest. I think we had a really fourth quarter. Lots of stuff to talk about in this game. I don't know where you guys want to kick this off, but I think, yeah, lots to discuss.
I mean, we were in control a lot of that game. We were playing really well first 40 minutes of the game. Then, a couple mistakes. LeBron's dunk faux pas, some missed layups here and there, and then letting Jamal Murray turn into Michael Jordan for a couple minutes was certainly not. We played against Ja, we played against Steph, but Murray has really been giving it to the Lakers, and we need to find a solution for that. I don't know if it's Vanderbilt being stuck to him. I don't know if it's D'Angelo learning to play defense immediately. I don't know what.
The Nuggets, they're a solid crew, and their coaching staff has been there, so they've been through the ringer with each other, and they know how to perform with each other in these tough times. We had the benefit of playing a young Grizzlies team and Warriors team that was like kind of in flux too. Now we're the team that's in flux, and the Denver team's the established one. So I think we're just being exposed a little bit.
I've been saying this all year because I think it's like after watching basketball for so many years, I realize that there's always a common thread on who wins the championship, and it's the intangible chemistry. And the Grizzlies, they didn't have it, obviously, with their off-field problems and their continued problems. And then you got the Warriors with the Jordan Poole, Draymond punch, right? That started off the season with like that. So then we run into a Nuggets team that's been running on all cylinders. And I feel like we have a lot of chemistry ever since the All-Star break. But these last two games, especially game two, you could see the difference in chemistry, right? If we had just tied it up, or maybe if we spent the whole year together, we would be solid. We would all know what to do, when to do it. And when you look at the Nuggets play, they know what to do, what not to do, or if they screw up, they know an easy fix, right? They have that developed shorthand that we don't have just yet, and that scares me going into the next two games at home.
I do feel as though we had a pretty good game plan going into Game 2. Going into the end of Game 1, I felt like we had some of that kind of also figured out. I think it comes down to legs at the end of the day. Like Game 2, they all got tired. You could see AD was not himself, and LeBron tried to put too much on himself. That last quarter for LeBron wasn't good, but I could see him just being tired. I mean, he could have taken it to the rack at any point, at least for a contested, shot and maybe get a draw foul. But he chose for I'm just gonna heave this three up and hope it goes down. Which I don't think, if he was fresh, I don't think he'd be making those decisions early on. So I do think that legs come into play for a little bit.
And that's also when the bench needs to step up, when our role players need to step up. Like, okay, LeBron, AD, they're not having it. Come on, D'Angelo.
But he is pounding the rock. I mean, LeBron is pounding the rock up there on the top of the key. I don't know. He could have passed the ball. He decided to just. It was early shot clock.
Yeah.
And he's just like, let me just throw this up, and then we have to be automatically in transition when everyone was set, and now everyone has to run back.
The margin for error right now for us is so slim. If we make a mistake, they will punish us. They will score. They're a very high clip team. So all these little mistakes are just exacerbated by the fact that the Nuggets will convert on the other side. So miss layup any other time wouldn't matter so much, but every point counts. Like in both of these games, we were within one score for both games. So we just can't fuck up right now like we did.
Yeah, there is no margin for error.
Yeah.
The Nuggets have been unflappable all year long.
Unflappable.
Unflappable. Good one. So if you look in the, not to bring back another series, but when the Warriors kept changing their starting lineups, you kind of know they're on the run,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like game over, I think. So I don't like always having to change our lineup because it kind of shows that we're struggling, we're worried, and we're panicking.
But I
Yeah.
think some of it also is on Darvin. Like the 3 guard lineups are not going to work
That was a very
No,
bad decision.
against the Nuggets. I feel like I suspect maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but maybe he's like, I got to save the good lineups to close the match or for later in the series. But it's putting us in a hole, and it's making them really confident that they can go out there and do whatever they want.
I mean, we're falling into the same trap that Steve Kerr fell in against us, right? We were the bigger team, so he kept trying to run these small ball lineups and just score on us. That didn't work for them. Yeah, and I think you make a good point about Darvin's trying to play smart for the next game by sacrificing their current game, which I think is a terrible, terrible strategy. He needs to win now just to get their mentality right. Because if we get into this losing mentality, the series is over. I mean, we might have already lost the series already. Who knows?
This last game, I think we had a lead going into the fourth, right? Or I think we had a
Yeah.
lead going into the fourth.
Yeah.
This game was so close. We were like, the Lakers were 43%, 43.9% field goal percentage, and the Nuggets were 43.8. The thing is, they made way more 3-pointers than us. They made 14 to our 8. And I think everything else looked pretty even. Even rebounds, like they had 9 more rebounds, which isn't great, but it's still 40 to 49 isn't terrible. Assists 26 to 27, steals 10 to 8. We had a lot more blocks, but I think they had just more chances. So I think this is a tough one because we could have stolen this game.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
how from the contribution we got from Rui Hachimura.
Rui has been
Like when
on fire.
he's averaging 29 minutes and 19 points and shooting 76%.
God damn, 76?
Yes. So Rui is young. Bump that 29 minutes to 39 minutes. He can handle it.
I love his mentality on his court. He's so even keel, but he's like still fiery.
And he smiles after every make.
He's going up against a 2-time MVP, and he's not giving
is
him an
massive.
inch. Yeah, he's not giving him an inch. He's like, okay, Rui is like 6'7", 6'8".
6'8".
Yeah, but he's thick.
Yeah, and Jokic is 6'11".
Just call him 7.
Yeah, I'm just calling him a 7.
Yeah.
And he's a thick 7, you know. So Rui's great.
We need more Rui.
I do think though that if we put him out there too much, he could get into foul trouble. It could be like, he could also just get tired. He hasn't been this far into the playoffs before.
Ever.
So they could also bank on making him getting some mistakes. The Nuggets could.
Rui has gone further than any other Japanese player ever in the NBA into the playoffs. Rui being in the second round is the furthest the Japanese player's ever gone.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What factor was the altitude? Because you got pretty LeBron out there, when an AD, both playing plus 40 games over, 72-hour period.
It's a factor. I mean, every professional sports player that I've heard interview about playing in Denver has talked about them sucking air after one quarter. It's not about being well conditioned. It's just about being used to the altitude.
I suspected for game 1 it would be a lot of that, but not for game 2 because they got there on Sunday.
Still, like, these guys train and
I
they
know.
live year round there, like, so as well conditioned as the Lakers are at sea level, the Nuggets are just as well conditioned in high altitude, which is, literally on another level.
Well, I will say this: Jokic obviously, is a thick guy, and for him to like last out there for 82 games the postseason, or 42 games being home games, that's like an untold advantage, right? When you're playing against an older LeBron, right? I hated him throwing up those threes, right? Because it was just a reflection that he couldn't drive to the paint. He was too tired to do anything. Right.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that clip where Kobe is on the rebound goes the other way. He's still at the other side of the court, and one of the fans is all like, "Hey, aren't you gonna run down?" And he's all like, "Oh no, man, I'm too old." Right. And so it's like we're getting glimpses of that in real time.
Oh yeah.
And so
My
it's the stinker.
My friend John texted me. He's like, "Dude, LeBron's shooting you out of the game, and like, what's going on here?" And I said, like, this has kind of been something that's been happening all season. We had some rough games where it was all LeBron because like AD was hurt or LeBron had to carry us for whatever reason. You know, it was before the trade. It was tough. And LeBron, you could see once it gets to the fourth quarter and he's exhausted, this is what happens is he would just kind of have these mental lapses, which we are not accustomed to from like the old like great LeBron. He just has these, and it sucks that every game is so tight and so close that those can push a game either direction. And I think when we're seeing this at the end, Roddy, you're right. It's like he's getting tired, and he wouldn't make those decisions earlier in the game.
Oh, between game 1 and game 2, all I heard from the ESPN heads and any sports podcast was that LeBron has to take over the game in game 2. Like, if we're gonna win, it's gonna be because of him. And I think it got to his head. Like, in real time. He heard, he obviously hears all the media feedback.
No, Roddy. No,
he doesn't
no
listen.
Social media.
No social media.
Supposedly, stay off social media.
So he doesn't know about Mike Malone talking trash after every game, like the job's finished for him.
Yeah, of course he heard all that, right? So it's like I feel like it got to him, and so when moments that he was on the court where he should have passed to Reeves because Reeves was on fire, or he is a shooter, that kind of factored in, and because the Rockies' point, because the margins and David's point in the game are so small, those little decisions are gonna cost us these games, especially when you're playing against the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about LeBron taking over in the fourth quarter, it's not you go score every bucket, because when you start launching threes from 28-foot threes or whatever, and of course it's a LeBrick, the other team knows that he's gassed.
Yeah.
And they'll just pound him even harder because they know he's gassed. So
Yeah.
I think LeBron taking over in the fourth quarter doesn't look more Michael Jordan shooting everything. It's more Magic Johnson. You drive and you kick. You find the right guy. Start a fast break. Let's go.
I mean, he did the Magic alley-oop. Like, you better fucking perform like him and get that ring.
Magic and worthy.
Yeah.
But all right, LeBron's just one guy, right? He
Yeah.
is, of course, the leader of this team. Anthony Davis did not have a good game, like probably his worst game of the playoffs.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
Yeah. He
That's
was
a
4
vanishing
for
net.
11.
That's a
Half of his
vanishing net.
points were free throws.
Yeah.
So even if he plays defense and rebounds well, great. You got to be efficient on the offensive end. You're that guy.
Yeah.
You're the anchor. You can't. Shaq, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they weren't going 4 for 11, 2 for 11, whatever. You gotta assert yourself.
If he doesn't score the ball on the offensive side, or if he doesn't perform offensively, then he's just Vando on the court, right? He's there for defensive pressure, and he's not contributing offensively.
I feel like there's something going on with like LeBron and AD are so connected. Like they're buddies off the court. They're on the court. They're like, Batman, Robin, whatever. They're like this partnership. But when LeBron, I think I'm thinking about what Roddy said. Like, was LeBron thinking too much? Like, this is my game. And because I was thinking like there was those 3 possessions where LeBron threw up the 3. AD's on the court, or at least maybe for 2 of those possessions he's on the court. He could have passed it to AD, at least for AD to be in there and like in a triangle offense type of thing. At least give it to AD so he can make the read and give it to someone else. But if the AD's not even touching the ball, you can't blame everything on AD for not getting the ball because he's got to.
Okay, there's a little bit of that factor where on this team where you have everybody that obviously wants to partake in the activity, right, which is basketball. Then you have that uncle in the corner that still thinks that they can like be the best at this activity, right? Uncle LeBron, right? Like AD, I think AD is affected by that. I think he doesn't voice it. I think the reason sometimes he has up and down games is because he's like, well, I'm not getting fed the ball. I'm just going to let the guy do it, right? And I think it trickles down to everybody else. And there is, I mean, nobody says it, but it's clearly a dynamic that happens in the game where the guy still thinks he can play. It's LeBron. Who's going to disagree with him?
Just give the ball to Tito Brani. Just give him the ball.
yeah. So I think AD he because he vanishes and it doesn't make a lot of sense because he's not injured, right? At least from what publicly,
Yeah.
and he's not he's almost he almost becomes a spectator, where it's just like he'll defend here and there and but he's not actively engaged because I think that his mind, well, I'm the main guy. Everybody says that I'm supposed to be running the show here, and you're lobbing up threes. Okay, cool.
Like,
I think we're saying that it's not all on AD, right? It's a little bit on LeBron too, to pass it up.
to their defense, the Nuggets are very big, right? They also have long arms. Their wings are big. Jamal's not like a tiny dude. So when they bring the ball up the court, the passing lanes are very slim. And you can tell from all the turnovers we had from them trying to force a pass through when the lane was pretty clogged. And also you have fucking Jokic on AD, who's really smart. All the passing lanes that LeBron sees, all those avenues, Jokic sees those too. So he's preemptively cutting off a lot of opportunities for AD. He was just eating against the Warriors. He was just like getting all these passes. You know, he could. There was no one bigger than him. But now there is someone that's bigger and smarter than him defending him. So he's having a tough time.
Another place that we're not doing so well is the transition defense. So a lot of one reason for our losses is that transition defense. Why is the ball not being stopped? First rule of defense: someone get in front of the ball handler. Why is KCP and Bruce Brown giving it to us like that?
I have a theory. Early in the season, the first half of the season before the trade, there was no excuse for it. We were just not trying hard. But now at this point of the season, I think there is a little bit of that chemistry that we're not having. I think, like Roddy suggested, there's like part of it is like sometimes D'Lo or LeBron or somebody will throw up a heave like early in the shot clock that the team is not ready for, and now they have to run back because you just bricked it. So I think there is a little bit of like, oh, I didn't expect that you were going to shoot the ball, like, so early in the clock, LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh, like, yeah, D'Lo was, I think one of those shots, like D'Lo was all the way in the corner, like waiting for someone to drive and kick. So when LeBron shoots it early in the shot clock at the top of the key, he's got to run all the way from the furthest part of the court all the way back to defend. So
yeah,
that's something that I saw. Like, I don't know if that's all of it, but we can't keep having this terrible transition defense.
LeBron's always talking about, oh, you got to make the right basketball play, the right basketball play. I'm like, these aren't the right basketball players. This is you not wanting to run the offense for one reason or another. You're trying to play hero ball and just drain that three.
Yeah, it is not the best game for both of the guys, but I think they're going to bounce back. They're the ones that are going to keep us in the series. We just expect a lot. What about the other guys? We got to talk about a little bit on D'Lo, Rui, Dennis, maybe Lonnie. What do you guys see from those guys?
Rui was fantastic. Lonnie, pretty lost on defense as usual, especially against a bigger team. He contributes little, if anything. Vando's such a liability on offense. There were a couple times that he cuts well. You think he moves well off ball. He just can't finish, which is a shame.
Let's talk about Austin Reeves having 22 points, which is the exact same amount that LeBron had too. I mean, if we don't re-sign that man,
more efficient,
more efficient.
Freaking Austin was 5 for 9 from 3.
Yeah, he came to play. He as a playoff performance right there.
Yeah, definitely.
He stepped up But you have LeBron James sitting there. You can't say, okay, you're going to take a backseat to Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Or Austin's going to be the main guy on offense. You can't do that. You just can't.
You can't.
You just got to lose that way.
And like the only reason Austin gets that level of mobility off ball is because LeBron can still draw the defenders into him.
Yeah.
And in order for him to keep doing that, he has to make a shot. Or at least take a shot is what in his mind, but that's really costing us.
He needs to drive.
Right?
He needs to drive. He's 0% from 3 in the fourth quarter at these 2 games.
But you know what? He was missing his drives. He was missing his layups. He was running in, and they had the big body in the paint, and he'd get pushed or shoved, and he'd be off balance, and he's throwing up a wild layup. You know that happened like a handful of times.
Shout out to the referees too. Damn.
Yeah, shout out to the referees.
Okay, so are we talking about LeBron not being historical LeBron in the sense that he's known to be Magic Johnson-esque, right? In where
Hmm.
his assists are high or whatnot. He had 10 assists in the game, right? So
Yeah.
Almost
and
a triple double.
obviously he could have had a lot more, and I think that's what we're arguing for, right? That
Mm.
if he was more the facilitator and continue feeding Reeves, we might have won this game. We might have won game one,
Yeah.
right? So I think LeBron gets in his head. I think hey, I have to be Jordan in these games, and it's like, no, don't deviate from what you've been doing because you got a shooter, a sharpshooter on your team that is waiting for you to feed the ball. You just got to go halfway into the paint and then kick it
Yeah.
out.
Like it feels like LeBron's playing chess when we just need him to play rock paper scissors. You know, like right? Like
Hey, let's just
like-
connect 4.
yeah,
It's
like
hit the
just
light,
fucking
hit the
go in
light.
and dunk the ball. If you can't dunk the ball, pass the ball. Like it's super simple against this type of team, you know. But he's just trying to play too big brain for this game right now.
But also, if they're leaving our guys open because they're not hitting their shots, it's going to be harder for LeBron to go inside to drive because there's an extra guy there. So, like, I would leave D'Angelo open until he starts drilling some.
Yeah.
1 for 8
D'Lo-
in 2 games. Leave him open. See what happens.
D'Lo's having a rough series. I don't know what adjustments I don't know if they're gonna bench him for tonight's game, but
I don't know.
it's definitely something that's been talked about a lot over the last few days with the media covering. Dennis didn't have a great. Actually had a really bad offensive game, but he played
Yeah.
30 minutes. But he's been doing most of his like work on defense, right, chasing around
Yeah.
Jamal Murray and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it hasn't worked.
But Austin was having like he was ready to go blow for blow with Murray. He was like ready to trade.
Yeah.
They were like, all right, it's me and you. Even Jokic wasn't getting the ball that much. It was like really Murray and Austin in that fourth quarter, like doing most of the noise.
The back-to-backs. Oh man,
Yeah,
Banked
but Murray was
threes.
unstoppable.
dude, the Bream bang. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. And in game one, like, so I think, I mean, we talked about this on the chat, but we don't feel great about the chances if they lost game two. Game one seemed almost fluky in that they were making circus shots after circus shots.
That was wild. That shit was
They were
wild.
making everything they couldn't miss. And the last one, we had a chance to win it, but we didn't.
Yeah.
We kind of choked a little bit, I would say. All right, he's got something to say.
Go right.
Yeah. So okay. So I guess you guys were chatting. I just got I googled Austin Reeves, and I mean, this guy is he's an unpolished diamond, right? But his quote, he says, "Let him shoot all he wants. It's LeBron James. We want him taking what he feels comfortable with. He's a winning player." He sounds like a leader. He sounds like the guy who's like the main. He's like, like
I trust
what he's
LeBron.
saying is what LeBron should have said about him. Like, let him shoot. Like he's
Yeah.
he's got a winning pedigree too, where he comes from and whatnot. So I feel like in game 3, if we look to game 3, I really hope Darvin Ham understands that he has something that he can continue to unlock and feed the guy. And I am willing to live and die by Austin Reeves shooting the ball more in these next 2 games. Like, let's see what this guy has. He just wants to go and run. He just wants to go and shine. And so we have something there. The box score doesn't lie.
That quote just sounds like a guy sucking up to his supervisor, like on his annual review. Like, yeah, like he does a great job. Like, I really like working under him.
Oh man.
So what we're saying for game 3 is we're gonna sit LeBron, sit AD, and we're gonna start Austin and Rui, right? That's what we're saying.
That's it. Just the two of them. Just the two of
Austin
them.
and Rui need to shine. AD needs to play more like he did in game 1.
I'm
He
cool with
scored
Dennis on
40.
the court. I'm cool with Dennis on the
It's
court.
like AD, you're gonna sit. Tristan, you're in.
LeBron, look,
Right.
LeBron can still be LeBron. You don't need to launch those big, long threes
Yeah.
4 seconds into the shot clock.
I wonder how many. I wonder if LeBron is gonna. This would be a good litmus test of does he listen to social media or not, or
Yeah, he does.
how many threes he shoots tonight, which is probably gonna be like 0.
LeBron, if you're watching this video, comment down below.
I do think that LeBron is gonna be. I mean, he's he's an all timer. He's gonna be looking at the film. He's gonna be like, he's gonna look at what he did and know that he fucked up without even looking at
Oh, yeah.
social media. So I think I'm.
You know,
What do you guys want to see tonight from the team? Maybe is it specific matchups? I think we're talking about maybe some more like passing the ball around. What are you guys hoping to see?
I want to see defensive effort. I want to see them act like their backs against the wall.
Yeah.
I want to see them play smart. I want to see them defend the home court like they have the first 2 rounds. Get it to 2-2. The goal is not to get to 4 right now. Just get it to 2-2.
On that point, Rahi, I think something that's been bothering the hell out of me is complaining after every non-call
Yeah.
and then not going down the court. So
Because there will always be non-calls.
Yeah.
Refs will always mess up. They will always miss something.
Yeah.
So you're not going to change anything by complaining. Just get back on defense. Complain at the timeout
Yeah.
if you have to.
Yeah, when did we become a team of Lucas? I mean, come on, let's just play basketball. I mean, like to Rocky's point, yeah. I mean, have they not played, seasons of this and know that things missed? But when you complain all the time, you get distracted. You don't go back on your defensive assignment, and then it bleeds into the makeup of the next possession, and then it cascades to the next possession, and it's like you're not focused.
Yeah. Yeah. The mentality gets thrown off as soon as you start that snowball. What I want to see from them is just fucking desperation. I
Yeah.
need them to be so desperate at every ball that they're diving, they're hitting hard. I don't want to see stupid fouls just because they're frustrated. Like I want to see desperation. Like I want them to play like their lives depend on it because the season does.
And they just have to be a little bit better. Nuggets haven't kicked our asses. We just have to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
I want to see better guard play just overall. Like we need to see more we just need to see something from D'Lo and Dennis. They're the main point guards. Like Austin is great, but he's not usually the main point guard. He's more that shooting guard coming off the ball. So we need to see some life out of D'Lo and Dennis to keep this series going, because if not, we're gonna keep relying on LeBron, and we've seen LeBron get tired already. So we need to see something from those guys. I would love to see a big D'Lo game. Just have him. Just don't even work too hard. Just make your threes, make your open threes, nail those shots, and that's gonna help the whole team. I think if we get some good minutes, some good offense out of those guys, we'll get. It'll make it easier on everyone else. Whenever we see D'Lo going, we see AD going.
Yeah.
So I think
they feed off each other.
We need to see that. We need to see some more pick and rolls with AD. I want to attack Jokic, even though he's really smart and he's probably going to get some stops. I just want to attack him and make him as tired as we can.
Yeah.
Foul trouble would be nice.
Yeah.
That's the only way with him, right? Because he's such a good passer that he's gonna, see where that open player's at.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been doing okay on him. Like game 1, he was unbelievable, but you could still see him like he made some decisions at the end where I think he was getting exhausted. In the last game, he didn't get the ball much because Murray was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we have something we can use on him. Maybe the Rui thing is working. But yeah.
Oh, guys, maybe Mo Bamba comes back today.
I don't think he's coming back today. Honestly,
I don't want him in.
He's not going to be a factor.
Yeah.
Even if he comes, he's too
He's
he
too
hasn't
green.
been in any playoffs.
Yeah, he's too green.
Thomas Bryant, man, he could have stayed.
He fucked us.
Yeah.
And himself.
I mean, he might get a ring out of it. It's good for him on the bench.
He hedged, man. He can
but
get
he
a
wanted-
ring either team.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
wanted to leave so he could get minutes, so he can get a long-term contract.
he asked for a trade.
0 minutes.
We didn't have to trade him.
Yeah.
Pelinka got a bunch of second-round draft picks, and that did roll into some of our other guys. But
He
I feel,
replenished the Rui draft picks that we sent to
we
Washington.
could have just kept.
I think also that the guards thing, we got to get something out of Lonnie. Lonnie had 2 points in game 2, so
Yeah.
we just need some guys to score and then not have to rely completely on LeBron. But we're at home. You know, we've been
Yeah.
undefeated at home. We've been playing great at home. Denver was a great home team. They
Yeah.
hadn't lost any home games, and now it's our turn. We got to protect home court. Predictions? How are you guys feeling about going into tonight's game?
Feel good.
I think we'll win.
I think we'll win. For sure.
Close?
Yeah.
Not close? Roddy, what do you think, man? Oh,
I'm always a pessimist, right? But I'm a realist, and I think as much as I want them to win this game, I don't think they got the legs to after going and grueling out 40 minutes after 2 games. I think we lose this game.
I think that's totally fair for you to say. I think I'm thinking it's going to be a very squeaky close win, which I don't think is not that great for us either. It's going to be very tight, but I see this like us maybe eking out a win, and then game 4 is a different story. But if we lose tonight, I don't know, it might be over.
Yeah, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. To Roddy's point, if they don't have their legs, we're gonna get blown out. But I think they'll get their legs back, being able to sleep in their own bed, recovering with their own guys back here at home.
Yeah, the home crowd.
Yeah, so I think that will play a factor, and I think they'll get their legs back and squeak out a win.
Say Lakers win tonight, something between 5 and 8 points. Then game 4 Monday, dogfight. If we win, okay, then we'll talk about maybe Lakers in 7.
Yeah.
If we go down 3-1, then
That was my prediction.
we'll start looking at mock drafts.
Mock drafts.
Do we even have a draft pick?
What pick do we have?
17th. That'll be a solid dude
God.
at 17th. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that right now. That's like that's if we get to that point where it's that's where the therapy comes in.
That's where the therapy comes in.
I think it's
Go
been
ahead.
a good
Mock drafts will
season.
make
Though.
me feel better. Yeah.
It's been a good season. It's been a good. It's been a great series, but I think this is the ultimate test, and
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it's
ex-
game.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm saying I'm expecting to win because this is not the team that started 0-5 or 2-10. That was another team. This is a team that has been likely the best in the NBA since the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And I want to see them play like it. And we got 2 champions on the team that are leading the team, and they need to put it down again, and everyone else needs to follow them and play their role, play efficiently.
Agreed.
All in all, win or lose, I'm so proud of these guys. I'm so proud of Austin Reeves. Like
Mhm.
he's my own kid type of proud, you know.
Love it.
But like they've come so far this season. They've dealt with so much shit from the media, from each other,
Mhm.
you know, like being in and out of the lineups, like for one reason or another, and they're Western Conference Finals. I like if you told me 4 or 5 months ago that we were going to be in the Western Conference Finals, I'd slap you for lying to me. You know. So I'm just proud of them.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting a little sappy. We think it's already
No.
over.
It's not over.
It ain't over.
Hey, I
It's
said
the
we're
year.
gonna win.
I know. Look, the year Fisher hit the .4 shot, Lakers were down 0-2 to the Spurs. That Laker team won in 6.
Let's do that.
And yes,
Let's
that
do
was like
that.
a
Nick
Shaq
Fisher
Kobe
on the
team,
court.
but that was the freaking Spurs too. Of that was Tim Duncan, Parker, Ginobili team. This Denver team is not them. So
blame them.
anything's possible. The 6 teams in history that have come back from 0-2, 2 of them have been LeBron teams. You've seen it before.
I blame Rocky's mock draft comment. What's on the path?
That's
Oh, man.
that's where the therapy comes in. If we go down 0-3, like, let me just look at some dude's YouTube videos that could be centers for us. Or
All right. I think we got 3 of us think it's gonna be a win. Roddy, maybe not so much the win. But we'll see. We got a
Look,
game
I
coming up.
always want the Lakers to win. Okay.
Oh no, of course we want them to win. Of course we want them
Right.
to win. I understand.
But it's
They're tough.
It's tough. It's tough, and I wanna set my expectations. So for if the worst happens, I don't want to punch a wall. You know what I mean? So
Roddy, how much money you put on the Nuggets? You can tell the truth.
I put $50 in January. Okay, January. I put the bet in January,
Damn.
and the odds were 1,000. So yeah, it was on a whim. Okay, so also now FanDuels, if you're listening, please reach out to us. I also bet the Las Vegas Knights NHL to win and they're in the conference finals. So anyway, betting makes watching games a lot more fun, especially hockey. Like hockey has a
Oh my God.
resurgence. Yeah, I know it's not a hockey podcast, right?
We do not
But
Yeah.
condone any illegal gambling activities.
actually, we
Yes.
do.
But
follow-
legal gambling,
Or any
FanDuels,
addiction
DraftKings,
to
reach out to
gambling.
us. Reach out to us.
Yes, please. You know, Bill Simmons. How's Bill Simmons running a show? FanDuel, come on now.
Come
He
on,
has a
come
sports
on.
betting. Yeah.
Come on. Before we finish, can we please talk about the Austin Reeves memes?
Go for it.
Yeah, the Blink 182 ones.
Oh my god, they're so funny. Austin, what do you need to work on game 3? All the small things.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Cut my life into pieces. AD won't space the floor.
Jamel Hill tweeted, "What in the Trent Reznor is this?"
That's a good one.
Avenge game 7-fold.
Oh man, that picture was a mood for sure. That's how I felt
Yeah.
after the game. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm hoping for some Austin hymness tonight.
I know. We
Man,
need
he-
him to
he-
perform.
He needs some himmies.
he has been doing it. We need the other guys to also step up too. Like,
Yeah.
he's been giving us a lot. Yeah.
Here's another one. I walk these empty streets on the boulevard of AD3s.
This is so good.
Some
It's
Green
so,
Day. It was funny.
so
Wake
good.
me up when September ends.
All right, we can stop it there or end it on that one.
All right, I think that does it for today's show. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button to our channel for more Lakers content. Peace.
Peace.